You've got to hear what Nikki Bella just said about Rhea Ripley, because if WWE decides to run with this, we're about to witness one of the most iconic generational collisions in modern women's wrestling history. Nikki Bella, a WWE Hall of Famer, one half of the legendary Bella twins, has re-entered the WWE Universe. But what's really turning heads is her candid talk about Rhea Ripley, arguably the most dominant woman in the company today, and how badly she wants to face her. The problem? Nikki doesn't just want to wrestle her, she wants to turn heel to do it. Let's step back. Nikki Bella, no matter where you place her on the spectrum of women's wrestling history, was a major player in her time. She helped usher in a mainstream audience through her reality TV ventures, from Total Divas to Total Bellas, and through crossover media appearances. She brought in viewers who never would have tuned into WWE otherwise. There's no denying her legacy in pop culture. But if we're being honest, brutally honest, there's an argument to be made that her wrestling contributions are sometimes overstated. Sure, she held the Divas Championship for a record-breaking reign, but was she ever the in-ring workhorse that today's elite women's roster represents? That's where Rhea Ripley comes in. Because Rhea isn't just a star in today's WWE, she's a megastar. Her rise has been nothing short of meteoric. From dominating NXT to becoming a marquee presence on Raw, Rhea Ripley has evolved into a force that transcends gender divisions in WWE. She's been so dominant that she's reshaped the narrative around what a top-tier women's competitor looks like. In every way that Nikki Bella represented the reality TV crossover era, Rhea Ripley represents the modern-day war goddess, a fighter, a champion, a standard-bearer. Now, with Nikki Bella's return to Raw on June 9th and her rumored involvement in Evolution 2, the timing of her comments couldn't be more intriguing. She's currently in a program with Liv Morgan, who's had her own ascent as a top babyface. But Nikki isn't settling. In an interview with Sports Illustrated, Nikki doubled down on something she's been hinting at for years. She wants Rhea Ripley, and she doesn't want to face her as a fan favorite. She said, and I quote, "I think one day it would be incredible to work with Rhea Ripley, and I've been saying this for the past 4 to 5 years. I would really love to do something with her. I don't want to be a good girl when I do it, which is very cringy when I say that out loud. I apologize if I cause you any unnecessary discomfort." Now, let's be clear, Nikki is very self-aware here. She acknowledges that the phrase good girl sounds awkward. She even says she'd prefer if we just call them heroes and villains. But the heart of the matter is this. She understands that for this story to truly work, she needs to be the heel. She needs to be the antagonist. And she's absolutely right. Because let's face it, WWE already has their hero in Rhea Ripley. She's not just dominant in the ring, she gets some of the biggest crowd reactions in the entire company. Male or female, the fans are fully behind her, and her appeal cuts across all demographics. In many ways, she's become the people's champion. So, what happens when you pit this present-day icon against a nostalgia act from the past? That's where things get fascinating. A potential Nikki Bella versus Rhea Ripley storyline isn't just about two women clashing in the ring, it's about two eras, two legacies, two completely different definitions of what a WWE woman is supposed to be. Nikki could come into the feud making claims that she paved the way for Rhea, that without the Bella twins, there would be no women's Evolution, no main events, no WrestleMania headliners. But Rhea? She could cut through all that with one devastating line, something like, "You stood for 4-minute matches. You stood for being eye candy. You stood for everything that kept women's wrestling from being taken seriously." That's the tension. That's the generational battle. And that's why this match, if WWE plays it right, could be money. But here's where things get murky. As of now, WWE seems to be leaning toward nostalgia booking for Nikki Bella's return. She's been brought in as a babyface. She's interacting with Liv Morgan on Raw. And according to reports from WrestleVotes, there's talk of a Bella Twins reunion. Nikki and Brie could be challenging Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez for the women's tag team titles at Evolution 2. I'll be blunt, I don't like this, at all. It's not because I have anything against the Bellas returning. They were a major part of an important era, and they deserve their moments. But the way this story is being set up, where they potentially defeat Liv and Raquel to become tag team champions, feels like a massive step backward. It undermines Liv and Raquel's credibility. It undercuts the legitimacy of the tag titles. And for what? A brief nostalgia run? If the Bellas win the tag team titles, what's the plan? Do they defend them regularly? Are they going to go on a full-time run? The answer is almost certainly no. They'll hold them for a few weeks or maybe a month, drop them, and move on. Meanwhile, Liv and Raquel lose their momentum. WWE gets a short-term pop and sacrifices long-term storytelling. That's not smart booking, that's desperation. Now, there is a version of the story that could work. If Nikki is determined to be a heel, then that changes the entire dynamic. If WWE pivots and has Nikki turn on Liv, maybe during the match or during a post-match promo, then we've got something. A heel Nikki Bella, fresh off a betrayal, setting her sights on Rhea Ripley? That's a match people will pay to see. But if she remains a face, does the media rounds, plays up the nostalgia, and ends up holding titles again just for the sake of it? That's not elevating anyone. That's not drawing money. That's not forward-looking. Here's the truth. Nikki Bella doesn't need to win anything to have an impact. Her name alone brings recognition. Her heel persona has always been more interesting than her face runs. She knows that. WWE knows that. So why not use that to their advantage? Book her as the delusional veteran who thinks Rhea Ripley owes her a thank you. Have her say that Rhea is living off the foundation the Bellas built. Let her play that up for weeks. Meanwhile, Rhea can stay cool, stay dominant, and eventually deliver the beatdown everyone wants to see. That's a classic story. That's generational warfare. That sells. What's also worth discussing is the long-term implications for Rhea Ripley. WWE has done a decent job booking her as a top act, but they haven't always given her high-profile rivalries that match her stature. Working with Nikki Bella, especially in a well-built program, gives Rhea a unique opportunity. It allows her to further cement herself as the woman in WWE. Beating Nikki Bella on a major stage sends a message, not just to fans, but to the entire industry. It says that the Divas era is truly over, that today's women don't just belong in the ring, they dominate it. Rhea Ripley is the embodiment of that message. Of course, there's a risk. WWE could choose the wrong ending. They could try to honor Nikki with a win, maybe even make it seem like a torch-passing moment, but that would be a mistake. Nikki doesn't need a win. She needs to put over the future. That's her job now. That's her role as a Hall of Famer. And let's not pretend this is a fantasy booking situation that has no chance of happening. Nikki Bella has made it very clear, over and over, that she wants Rhea. She's said it in interviews. She's hinted at it on social media. She said it on podcasts. She knows this is a match people want to see. The ball is now in WWE's court. So here's the big question. Will WWE do the smart thing and give us the generational clash we deserve? Or will they settle for a half-hearted nostalgia run that benefits no one in the long term? The fans are watching. The locker room is watching. And more importantly, Rhea Ripley is ready. Nikki, if you're serious about this, if you really want to test yourself against today's best, you've got your villain. Now let's see if WWE has the courage to book the hero.